air conditioner because you can hear it going. There we go. All right. Well, time now for this week's ramblings and pickups. Well, this week I went to the great little town of Athens, Georgia, just to the south and east of Knoxville on the way to Chattanooga. Went down and visited a customer down there. Did some work. While I was out in the area, I hit a couple pawn shops and a Ed McKay bookstore there in Knoxville, which, you know, that's probably one of the biggest Ed McKays I've been in. It's a huge, huge store. It has a lot of good audio CDs in there, lots of books, and their retro game selection is not too bad. Pretty much every time I come through Knoxville and I stop at this place, I usually find stuff. So it's a pretty awesome store. You need to check it out if you're in Knoxville. But anyway, had a couple questions pop up on my Arcade USA YouTube account, so I thought I'd answer them here for everybody. The first one came from Crazy Climber 80. He asked me, "Where in God's green earth did you find that thing?" And what he's referring to is on my intro, you'll see that I have a Freddy Krueger Nintendo glove. Now that's not mine. It belongs to a good friend of mine by the name of Doc. He has a very interesting movie memorabilia collection, a bunch of arcade games. I've actually got a YouTube video I did, an Arcade USA video, on his arcade and some of his movie collection. So I'll put a link down in this description to that video if you want to watch what he has. He made a Star Trek the arcade game where you actually sit in a captain's chair and the controls is on the armrests, and the game you play is kind of like a reimagining of the Star Trek arcade game where you play bits and pieces of like the animated series and stuff like that. It's really neat. He also has a really cool Polybius machine. He has Quantum, which is a very rare Atari game. It's a vector graphics game where you have to draw lines and encircle things. It's a lot of fun. It's a trackball game. I've never seen one out in the wild before. I mean, I was kind of shocked to see that he had one. But he's got some other very unique and rare arcade games as well. But anyway, enough of that. The next question I got was from, boy, my eyes are bad, Illegal Walls 67. We asked me two questions. He posted on my page here. He goes, "You're almost at 1,000 subs, man," with a big happy face. Yeah, I'm getting really close to having 1,000 subscribers. I didn't realize it had gotten that high. I really haven't paid attention to it too much. But anyway, he was asking if I'm going to be doing a contest once I pass the 1,000 subscriber mark. And yeah, I think I'm going to. I need to, because 1,000 subscribers, that's a pretty big milestone. Considering when I started this channel, it was just little bits and pieces videos I do. Like I would repair things to show people repairing stuff, and some handheld gameplay, some model railroad stuff, that kind of thing. And it just kind of evolved from there. Anyway, mind went blank. The 1,000 subscriber contest, I really need to think of what I can do. I was thinking about maybe giving away a game system with a game, something like maybe a PS1, that little white mini PS1 thing with some games or something like that. Or I really don't know. I really got to think about it. So you guys got suggestions of what kind of prizes you like to see for 1,000 subscriber contest? Put a comment down here and let me know what kind of stuff you'd like to see for prizes. I got a lot of stuff. I got a lot of stuff to get rid of as well that I could probably use for prizes. So I got to think on that, see what I'm going to do. Also, I got one of the first episodes of the Channel F Files recorded and released. You can find it on iTunes. You can also find it on the blogspot.com page, Channel F Files blogspot.com. I also finished making a supplemental YouTube video to go with the podcast that goes through the first cartridge that we covered, that shows some interesting tidbits and information that we discussed during the podcast. Also got the newest episode of the ColecoVisions podcast released this week, where we talk about Star Wars Arcade, Galaxian, and Gordon Shumway. Alf. So those are out there right now on iTunes. If you listen to podcasts, you mess with those if you want. It's just a little side project I do just to do something. I've never really podcasted before, so thought it was something neat to do. Anyway, he had another part of his question, Mr. Illegal Walls 67. Next thing he asked, let's see here, where's the question? Go, there it is. I want to ask you a question. All I know, you are mostly into the old school consoles, but what's your opinion on the Xbox One, Wii U, and PS4? Are they good, bad, or eh? Well, Illegal, I typed up a response on this question on the last video, but I'll go ahead and talk about it right now. I currently own a PS4. That was really the only system I actually went out for. Went out day one purchase, had it reserved, picked it up. I knew I wanted the PS4. I'm kind of strange. I didn't really get into the PS3 very much. I actually bought an Xbox 360 and played the living daylights out of that. But on this generation, I went to the PS4. Mainly, I kind of like the PS4. Nothing against the Xbox One. It has some neat games on there, especially that Titanfall game. I actually got to play that a little bit. It is a lot of fun. But I don't want to have multiple consoles laying around, so I limited myself. I'm going to buy one of the new generation consoles, and that's it. And I decided to be PS4 mainly because it has Battlefield on there, because I like Battlefield. And I really enjoy that console, so that's why I picked it up. The Xbox One, like I said, nothing against it. It's a good console. I'm just not interested at all. The Wii U, unfortunately, Nintendo kind of lost me after they released the Wii. The Wii was really the last console that I remember actively trying to get. Matter of fact, the Wii I finally found like a year later because they were so short in supply around here. But when I finally did pick up one, I really enjoyed it. I played Excite Truck on it and a bunch of other games. Enjoyed playing Pikmin on there from my GameCube. Some other games like that. But now my poor little Wii has been hacked, and it's basically just an emulation machine. Is all it is. I really don't play any Wii games on it hardly at all anymore. I kind of gravitate back towards my Nintendo 64 and my GameCube now. Nothing against the Wii. It's a neat console. Nothing against it. I still have it. It's just Nintendo just kind of lost me now. When the Wii U came out, I was like, I don't know. It just doesn't really interest me. There's really no game on the Wii U that really has made me want to go out and buy it. Mario Kart was close. That new Mario Kart game, I played it, and I was very close. I was like, I like this game. I might pick one up, but no. I think the killer app for that Wii U that would make me buy one is if they would do another Star Wars Rogue Squadron or something like that. If they did something like that on that Wii U, I would probably buy it. Of course, I'm really looking forward to Star Wars Battlefront coming out on the Xbox One and the PS4 and stuff here later on this year. So I've been watching that very closely on YouTube and on the internet, trying to get details about that game because I love the Star Wars Battlefront games. I was highly addicted to that game on my PS2. As a matter of fact, I did the beta testing for Battlefront 2. Sony sent me the disc, and I would play the game and report bugs and stuff, and I would upload, bug reports back to them through the game and stuff like that. It was a fun process to beta test a game. But anyway, enough of that. So, I think we need to get to the pickups. I've rambled enough. Probably most of you are sleeping out there right now anyway. So, here we go. We're going to start with the pickups. First thing I picked up was a Blip. Classic electromechanical game. What cracks me up, it's an electromechanical game, but it has a nice little LED in there. Little LED right there. That moves back and forth on the screen. How do you start this thing? There, nope. Oh, sir, there we go. So it goes across screen. Whee! And basically, the idea of the game is you have to try to anticipate where it's going to land and hit the button before it gets there to send it back across the other way. Mechanical Pong is basically what it's like. Now, it's not that easy. As you see, I'm playing up in this video right here. I can't keep the dot moving very long. Because where you think it's going to go, it'll all of a sudden curve and go somewhere else. So it's pretty challenging. It's not bad for an electromechanical game. Tomy had some neat stuff they put out. Next thing I picked up for my PlayStation 1 was Team Losi RC Racer. Another racing game. It's kind of okay. It's not bad. The controls are really good on this game. I'm pretty impressed with the controls and the handling of the cars. It's not hard. Instead of picking up power-ups along the way like you would with Mario Kart and some other games, you actually run through little checkpoint gates. And when you run through a checkpoint gate, it gives you a power-up. Either a speed boost or invincibility or something like that. So, it's kind of neat. And plus, it has a whole lot of different areas you can explore. Tons of different tracks. You have like 16 cars you can choose from. There's 15 unique tracks. All kinds of neat stuff. Plus, there's a lot of secret things in this game. So, I'll probably give it a little bit more of a play and see. Maybe it'll grow on me. Otherwise, it's going to go in the box of prizes or something like that. Next thing I picked up was the Atari Anniversary Edition Redo. Basically has 12 arcade games on here. We have Asteroids Deluxe, Battlezone, Black Widow, Centipede Gravatar, Risk Command Pong, Space Duel, Super Breakout, Tempest, and Warlords. Pretty much arcade perfect versions of the games. Pretty responsive to the controls. One of my favorites on here, of course, Tempest, is why I like this. It does really good with the analog stick, spinning it around to go around the outside of the maze. This disc also has like video on here. You see interviews with Nolan Bushnell and some unreleased Atari photographs of different games and things like that. And this did come with the Atari stickers. As you can see, someone peeled one off and stuck it on the front. What a waste. But there's still 2 stickers in here. So that's a pretty good game. I've already got this on my PS1, so this is going to be a prize. This may go with that PS1 I was telling you about. Maybe I'll find a PS1 screen and put on it as well. That'd be kind of cool. I have to think about that. And the next game I picked up for my PlayStation, PS1, was Spider. This game is awesome. Never really heard of this game. Read the back of it. Basically, you play a spider, and you're going through a lab, and you pick up these little triangle-looking things and stuff. You have to avoid other enemies like wasps and other spiders and stuff. And you have different attacks you can do. You can have a regular attack with your feet. To hit the other spiders or the obstacles, or you can find power-ups. You'll see legs laying around that you can pick up, and it puts a power-up on one of your spider legs, like a gas bomb or a guided missile or a knife or something like that. It's a really fun game. If you've not tried this game, I highly recommend it. I've been enjoying the heck out of it. So I'm going to spend quite a bit more time with this game. And then for my Sega Saturn, I picked up my very first import game for my Sega Saturn. I picked up Gun Griffin 2, which is basically a mech game. I love mech games. Love them to death. Like on the original Xbox, my two favorite games on the original Xbox is Mech Assault and Mech Assault Lone Wolf. Love those two games. They're awesome. So anytime there's mechs involved, it usually will draw my attention. I happen to see this, and I was like, I see a mech on the cover. Look on the back. There's some mechs on the back running around. I got to try this game. Now, of course, this won't play on a US console unless you have a modded console with a chip, or you have one of these action replay cards. So you plug the action replay card in, hit start game, it boots it right up. No problem. So that's cool. The next thing I picked up was Pac-Man for my Intellivision. Now I've got this game already, but it's the Intellivision cartridge version. It's it's got the little angly thing like this, and it's white. It says Pac-Man on white. So this is the Atari Soft Pac-Man. So this is probably going to be a prize for something. Either this or the other one. I haven't decided yet. But this is a great port of Pac-Man for the Intellivision. Gameplay is really nice. Using the control thumb wheel, Pac-Man just scoots right around that maze. No problems whatsoever. So very impressed with this port of Pac-Man. My next Intellivision game I picked up was Mousetrap. Pretty neat game. Of course, on the Intellivision controller, you have to use buttons 1 through 3 to control the doors. And then you have the button 5, I think. Or maybe that's the ColecoVision. I can't remember. But you got to hit another button to turn into a dog. The hardest thing about playing this game is while you're moving around the maze with the mouse is knowing which button to hit to open the door if you're not looking down at the keypad. So you get used to it. You start playing it by feel. It's not too bad of a game. It is a little bit hard to control. The mouse won't go where I want him to go every once in a while. It gets stuck on the walls and things. ColecoVision version is not any better. It looks almost like the arcade on the ColecoVision version, but it also gets stuck in the maze as well. So, oh well. Next one was Ladybug, another arcade game. Controls fairly well, doesn't stick as much as Mousetrap. It's a good port of the arcade game to the Intellivision. It's a lot of bit of fun. Instead of you controlling the doors with buttons, you actually run your little critter through the door and it pivots around like those old pivot doorways. So you can change the maze around that way. And then for my Atari 2600, I found a copy of Cosmic Creeps. Didn't have this game in my collection. Ferg from the Atari 2600 Game by Game podcast covered this on his podcast, and I tried it in emulation and really liked it. So I decided I'll try to find it to have the actual cartridge. So it's a pretty fun game. Basically, you have a little ship. You take off from the planet, and you dock at the top of the screen with your main ship, and then you'll see a guy appear with two aliens chasing him, starting going across the screen. And you're trying to shoot the two aliens behind the guy and get the guy to come all the way up to the screen and dock. Get into your ship. As you can see, as I'm playing this game, I keep shooting the guy. I'm just that way. Oh well. Then the last thing I picked up, I didn't pick this up out in Athens or anywhere else like it. I actually ordered this from a great guy. His name is E5 Frog. He's on Atari Age. He also has a YouTube channel as well, E5 Frog. He does a lot of work on the old Fairchild Channel F system where he makes games and things like that. He actually made a Pac-Man game for the Fairchild Channel F. It's really good. It's a lot of fun to play. So I picked up his multi-cart. Now check this out. This box is awesome. Shows all the games on the back that's on here. Look at it on the side. It looks just like a regular Fairchild Channel F box. Take a look at the cartridge in here. Pretty cool cartridge too. So here's a Channel F multi-cart label. Then on the back here, he put like little instructions on how to get to games quickly using the buttons on the console. So pretty neat. Now, since I'm doing my Channel F podcast, I knew it would be near impossible to try to find all the games in a timely manner to actually review them and play them and stuff like that. So I decided to buy this multi-cart. I could do it in emulation as well, but I wanted to actually hold a Channel F controller in my hand and play the games and stuff like that like you would have back then. So this is a great little cartridge. I'm really happy to have it. So that is pretty much all the pickups for this week. Next week, don't know where I'm going next week. My schedule is kind of up in the air, so don't know if I'm going to be finding anything or not, because I don't know if I'm going to be anywhere. So anyway, thanks for watching. Keep on gaming.